Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and this is my blind reaction to Pandora Hearts, episodes 7 and 8. But I also am going to be making an announcement here regarding this. So, out of all I'm reacting to, Pandora Hearts is the one that has. I don't know if it's the tone of the series, I don't know if it's the just age of it and all, but it's gotten to the point where it's become one of those shows where it's like I don't want to drop it, but I find myself having a hard time wanting to continue reacting. Like that's why it's not like as consistently put up as much as other reactions on the channel. But I do still want to react to it because it's good, it's enjoyable. So I mentioned this idea before, but we're going to actually put it into action. After today's reaction, we are taking a break from Pandora Hearts. We're just putting it on hold. It is not dropped, it is not canceled. We're just going to put it on hold. We're going to go to a different show for the time being, and then we'll come right back to Pandora Hearts. It's like we're just like taking off for one other show, and then we're going to come right back. I just want to take a break from it because I feel like that will refresh my interest in it a bit more. Even if these two episodes we're going to react to today are amazing and make me really excited for what's going to happen, I just want to take that little time off just so I don't kind of become even more apathetic and do end up dropping the series because I lose interest. I don't want that to happen. So we're going to take a break. So you may be wondering what is going to replace it. Well, I'm going to announce that at the end of the video, at the end of this redirect. So check out the reaction, of course, and then come back here, check out the afterthoughts, and then you can, and then I'll announce what it is going to be. But let's actually get into the pre-thoughts and the reaction and all that first. So I'm trying to remember where we left off. It's been a while, kind of going to my point. I believe where we left off, Oz wanted to go back to the church, I guess you could call it, where he was having his ceremony before. And when they get there, they're attacked by the Baskervilles. And I believe it ended off with Raven getting possessed by one of the Baskervilles, and it being revealed that Raven was Gil, which, when you look back at it, is pretty obvious. But it's like it's still maybe a little bit of a surprise because I was so sure he died. I was so sure that Oz accidentally killed him with that sword. I was certain of it, but I was wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong, mind you, because I did like Gil. I very much did, and I I like what he's like as a character now, as an adult. And that definitely confirms the time period skip thing I was talking about too, which admittedly I think I did know about beforehand because somehow I'm not even entirely sure. Because it's like, unless I did get this far in the series before in my first time watching, I just, like I said last time, I just know it was less than 10 episodes that I got to a decade ago. um, but I'm excited to see where this goes with the entire battle with the Baskervilles and all. Um, and I hope that it all goes according to plan, all goes well. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if they can stop the Baskervilles here. I assume they're going to, but we'll see. Um, so that being said, we're just going to get on with this and hope for the best. Even though we're going to take a break after these two episodes, still, I want them to be good, of course. And again, the series has been good so far. It's not like I don't think it will. It's just hopefully they're really good. So, that being said, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episodes. And just as a reminder, at the very end of the video, after the afterthoughts, I will reveal what is going to temporarily replace Pandora Hearts. So stay tuned for that as well. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So that was an interesting set of episodes. The first one had a lot to do with Gil, him fighting back against the strings by Doldem, I think its name was. But they managed to defeat the hooded person, the Baskerville girl, and get her to leave after Gil shot her in the shoulder. So they won that fight. Afterwards, Gil had kind of an emo moment, but it all got fixed thanks to Oz's pep-up speech. And in the end, he agreed to serve Oz once again. Even despite the entire thing with the family that took him in following those incidents. Break, meanwhile, is being extremely creepy and implying that Oz seems to have like this darkness within him and everything. So there's something going on there for sure. We found out why Break and the girl whose name I cannot remember, we found out why they haven't aged, which is something I have been wondering about. That it is because they are contractors, but rather than illegal contractors, they're, I guess, Pandora certified ones. They still age and die. It's just they don't physically change in terms of their appearance. So we don't technically know how old they actually are. Meanwhile, after Oz had fought this rabbit chain, well, it might have been a chain, might not have been. It's hard to say. But either way, after it was being fought, I guess it was supposed to be the Will of the Abyss. After they fought and defeated the Will of the Abyss, or whatever it was, it had said some things to Oz and everything, and Break then said some things to Oz, and basically Oz is like getting a lot of information and a lot of doubt being forced into his mind. Even though he's fighting back against it with his just insane positivities, it's still there. We also have kind of hints about like learning more about Oz's family, about his parents specifically, and just in general, a lot of interesting setup for the future. But that kind of comes to an interesting point to end off on for the time being. Again, we're not, as I said in the pre-thoughts, we're not dropping this series. But we are going to put it on hold for the time. We are going to move on to something else and then come back to, we're going to come back to Pandora Hearts right after. But there's really not much else to say on these episodes because, like I said, these were mostly just setup episodes. Obviously finishing out the fight with the Baskerville girl, but they were setting up a lot of stuff for what's to come in the future, I feel. Giving us a lot of information, but also a lot of questions based on the dialogue and moments of these episodes. So yeah, there's not really much of anything else I have to say going forward in these afterthoughts. There's just not a lot else that I can think of to really discuss. If I forgot anything that you want to hear my thoughts on, feel free to mention those in the comments. But we're going to move on to getting back to what I was saying in the pre thoughts. So, yeah, it's not that I'm feeling burnt out on this show. It's that I just, I'm at the point where I'm starting to get apathetic towards it. Because every time, every week, whenever I'm like, oh, I'm gonna react to something today, I almost never want to choose Pandora Hearts over the other stuff. And part of that is because I just like the other stuff more. But another part of it is I just haven't found lately the motivation to want to watch more Pandora Hearts, even though I like the series, even though I want to see where it goes. So far, at least. um, I'm kind of becoming a little bit apathetic towards it. And I don't want to become fully so. I don't want to become completely apathetic because that at that point I will want to drop it. And I don't want to get to that point. So we're not quite halfway through yet, but I feel like we need to take a break. So we're going to take a break. We're going to watch something else in the meantime and then come back to Pandora Hearts right after. So I said in the pre thoughts that at the end of this I would reveal what we are replacing um, this with. And it's something that's been a long time coming. It's something that's been a long time coming that I've wanted to get back to for a long time, but I just haven't found the right moment to put it in back into the rotation yet. I think this is this is a good moment for it, a good point to get back into that. So, for the time being, replacing Pandora Hearts, which again will return right after, we are going to be getting into season 2 of Free. So yeah, I know a lot of you had been asking about this throughout this, like over a year, I think, since I finished season 1. Um, so it's like, I know you guys have been wanting this, and so we're going to be getting to it. Um, we are going to be finally getting around to season 2 of Free. And I'm excited because I really did like season 1 a lot more than I ever thought I was going to. Um, I still remember my feelings towards that, like how surprised and shocked I just kept being about how much I actually enjoyed it. Because it's like I never expected to like it as much as I did. Hell, I never really expected to like it that much at all. But no, it actually ended up being a very good series with great characters, some good developments, great story. So I'm really interested to see where it goes from there. Um, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Um, but we will begin that as soon as we can. It will be added to the channel banner and all that. So, in the meantime, I do want to thank you all for um, tuning in. And once again, we will get back to Pandora Hearts right after we finish season 2 of Free. So, yeah, I'll probably make another video on this as well, just to make the announcement for those who may not actually watch the Pandora Hearts reactions, just so other people know as well. In fact, yeah, I think I'm definitely going to. But yeah, uh, tell me either way what you thought of these 2 episodes of Pandora Hearts in the comments below. And again, if there's something I missed that you specifically want to hear my thoughts on more, feel free to ask in the comments. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will get back to Pandora Hearts after we finish season 2 of Free once again. So thank you so much, and for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.